Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for round 2 of the manufacturer series. Let's get this started. On the left, just before the 50-meter sign, there's a path that you'll be using as your braking point. Brake hard for a moment there, then start to ease off on the brakes. You'll actually be doing a lot of braking control, so you can still have the flexibility to turn as you slow down. Wait until you're about halfway into this curb that is on the right before you can start to fully accelerate. These S's are all about throttle control, so you just want to ease off on the throttle to make sure that you still have the flexibility to turn. However, when you start to make this right turn right here, you want to use a little bit of braking so you can stay on the very inside of the turn. Bring yourself to the right, and as you make this left turn, just ease off the throttle for a very quick moment of time. Use the 50-meter sign as your braking point, so you'll brake hard for a very quick moment of time, ease off on the brakes right away, let the car slide into this next turn. Then brake before the curb on the left ends, brake hard for a little bit longer, ease off on the brakes to let the car rotate, and patiently start to accelerate. You don't want to hit too much of the green area so you don't end up understeering into the wall. Then right after this curb on the right ends, that is when you start to brake. Then eventually, when you're ready, go down to first gear so the car will rotate a little bit more. Don't use all of your throttle when you're on first gear. Just wait until you're ready to start to fully accelerate. Then go up to second gear and then start to fully accelerate. Brake hard when you reach the path on the right. Then ease off on the brakes. Get on this curb, fully accelerate for a moment, then brake before the curb on the right ends. Go down to second gear, bring yourself to the inside, and before the curb on the left ends, you can then start to fully accelerate. Use the 50-meter sign as your turning point, and you'll just simply ease off on the throttle for a short moment before you start to fully accelerate. Then before you reach the 100-meter sign, you'll brake one more time and carefully turn in as you're easing off on the brakes. Carefully accelerate as well. Make sure you straighten up your car, and if you know you have a good lap time, just stay on the very right side. Otherwise, if you want to do another lap, go on the left side. But otherwise, that is all for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and talk about the strategies. For the qualifying session, you want to take a quick look and see what other people are doing around you from the very start. If people are starting to fuel burn right when they get out of the pit stop, you want to join them. The thing is that Suzuka circuit is not that wide, so if you're to, let's say, be the only person to do the out lap and then the flying lap as soon as you can, chances are that you'll end up running into these fuel burners, and especially if you run into them during some of the twistier bits of the track, you're going to have to slow down so you can make your way around them, and that's going to end up hurting your qualifying time. So if everyone is fuel burning, join them. If everyone is just going for the qualifying lap as soon as they can, join them. So in this instance, we're all just fuel burning, and we ended up fuel burning a little bit quicker. We're on second gear most of the time, just fuel burning on that gear, as this track is a little bit long and you want to make sure that you have enough time to be able to actually start your qualifying lap. So the first and second laps are fuel burning laps. The third lap, which we're about to start now, will be the actual flying lap. And one thing to note is that even though the fuel consumption rate is at ×3, you're still able to burn off quite a bit of fuel. So in this instance, I started the flying lap with just under 75% fuel, which is quite a bit of weight lifted off of the car's back. Just lifted off of the car, let's just put it that way. But anyways, let's skip on over to the end of the lap, and we're going to get a low 209, so not too bad. I actually ran into some traffic along the way, so a high 208 would have been possible for me if that didn't happen, but still not too bad. So let's go ahead and quickly summarize this. So assuming that everyone in your lobby is fuel burning, you want to fuel burn your first lap. Then at the end of the first lap, go ahead and get some new tires, fuel burn your second lap, then do your flying lap for your third lap. And once again, you just want to fuel burn a little bit faster, so I would suggest fuel burning on second gear. That way you don't end up running out of time before you even do a qualifying lap. And once again, this is assuming everyone is fuel burning in your lobby. If everyone in your lobby is just going for it, then go ahead and join them. Just make sure that you give yourself space between yourself and the car ahead of you. So with the fuel at ×3, that's actually nothing to worry about, so you don't have to worry about refueling. With the tire wear rate, even though it's a ×5, it actually wears a bit slowly. So as you see here, we're about to enter lap 7, and the tire wear on my racing medium tires isn't too bad. So we can definitely go a couple more laps before I have to actually think about going ahead and pitting in for new tires. You'll basically know when it's time to pit once you notice that your times are dropping off, and if your car is starting to struggle to get that grip it needs to go through some of these turns. But ignore my times, especially for the 5th and 6th laps, because I was struggling a bit just trying to control the car, and I was actually battling with first place. But anyways, back on topic. So once your car is starting to struggle to make its turns, you then want to go ahead and pit. When you want to pit will actually depend on the car you're using and your driving style. So on a car like this, and with my driving style, after doing a couple of test races off camera, I figured that lap 8 will be the time that I'll be pitting in to change the tires. However, if you're in a car like the Alfa Romeo 4C, because that car is lighter than a feather and has really good tire wear rates, you can possibly wait until the end of lap 10 before you change tires. And don't forget that racing hard tires are required, so you want to try to make your racing medium tires last as long as you can while still getting good times before you change them over to racing hard tires. And one thing I like to note, do not hit the green area at the end of this turn, because it will screw you over. That AstroTurf has screwed me over so many times, I cannot even begin to tell you how much it frustrates me whenever I end up making contact with that. But anyways, the pit stop time is actually a little bit longer, so it takes a bit longer for your car to approach the pit box before your pit crew does the tire change. So it's definitely going to be either a one stop or a no stop. The total times I got through doing the custom races for both strategies are pretty close actually. They're about 2 seconds off, but this is on a controlled environment, so it's only me versus one AI car that's slower than a snail. And the thing is that even though the no stop strategy gets a pretty close time to the one stop, my issue is that if you're to run the no stop strategy and no one else does it, so everyone's doing the one stop, you're going to get pushed around. Once people find out that you're on racing hard tires and they're on racing medium tires, they're going to start to do whatever they can to try to get around you. So don't be surprised if someone behind you gets impatient and tries to pull a sneaky on you, or they start to get a little too close and personal with you. So in my opinion, even though you have to deal with a pit stop that lasts a little bit longer than usual, I would suggest going with a one stop strategy. And that's all for the guide. So I am thinking about doing the Nations Guides again, and that's just because with everything that's been going on lately, and with what my state just did recently, so they activated the stay-at-home order, so you can't really leave the house unless you're getting groceries or medicine, and non-essential businesses are closed, so I'm pretty much out of a job. So for now, I'll just be making more YouTube videos. I can focus a bit more on the Nations Guide since I have a bit more time to mess around with. And yeah, so I don't know, it's just crazy what's going on. I hope you all are being safe, washing your hands and doing the whole social distancing thing. And yeah, so stay safe out there. Keep an eye out for the Nations Guides videos. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.